Welcome to this lesson on types and sources of loss. Before you can stop shrinkage, you need to know exactly where it comes from. By the end, you'll identify and categorize every major source of inventory loss so you can focus your prevention efforts where they matter most. Here's the key concept. Shrinkage is the gap between what your inventory records say you have and what is physically on the shelf. That gap costs the retail industry tens of billions of dollars each and every year. Each and every unit of shrinkage represents a unit of lost profit, and your job as a loss prevention officer is to close that gap. To do that, you first need to understand what is causing it. Shrinkage comes from four distinct sources. External theft, shoplifting, and organized retail crime is consistently the largest single contributor. Internal theft by employees is the second biggest driver, often the most damaging because it can go undetected longer. Administrative errors account for a significant share, and vendor or supplier fraud rounds out the picture. Know these four categories. That's the foundation for everything that follows.
External theft is anyone outside the company taking merchandise without paying. The most common form? Opportunistic shoplifting. A person sees an opening and takes it. Then there's organized retail crime, coordinated groups hitting high-value goods systematically. Return fraud also counts as external theft, and it's costlier than most people think. The type you're facing shapes your response.
Knowing the category isn't enough. You need to spot the signals on the spot. Shoplifters avoid eye contact and watch staff instead of merchandise. Watch for concealment, opening bags near shelves, layering clothing. Unusual browsing, handling many items without choosing any, is a clear warning sign. And in organized retail crime, distraction is deliberate. One person engages your staff while others act.
Internal theft is especially dangerous because the person doing it already belongs there. They know your camera blind spots, your shift schedules, your audit cycles. That access and trust is exactly what makes it so hard to catch, and why it often goes unnoticed for months before anyone realizes something's wrong.
Internal theft leaves traces if you know where to look. Point-of-sale anomalies are a clear signal. Repeated voids, excessive refunds, and frequent no-sale transactions on the same register or employee, those demand a second look. Lifestyle inconsistencies are another red flag. An employee suddenly spending far beyond their salary? That's worth questioning. And inventory discrepancies that keep appearing in one department or shift? Don't dismiss them. Internal theft takes several specific forms. Sweethearting means giving friends or family unauthorized discounts or skipping items at the register. Refund fraud uses fake returns to pocket the cash. Direct inventory theft from the stockroom is straightforward but common. And cash skimming, taking money before it enters the register, is one of the hardest schemes to detect because there is no transaction record to audit. Vendor and supplier fraud happens before goods hit the floor, so it's easy to miss. Short shipping means a supplier delivers fewer units than the invoice states. The store pays for goods it never actually gets. Invoice manipulation is inflated prices or quantities on billing documents. Both schemes demand careful verification of deliveries against purchase orders. Flag any discrepancy right away. Don't accept it as normal variance.
Not every inventory discrepancy is theft. Administrative errors, simple mistakes by people doing their jobs, cause a meaningful share of shrinkage. Incorrect price entries, receiving errors, and data entry mistakes create gaps between system and reality. Those errors can hide real theft inside the noise and lead to poor decisions about stock levels and security.
Here's how we measure shrinkage as a percentage of total retail sales. The industry average hovers around 1.5%. That's your benchmark, the line you watch. Whenever a store, department, or product category consistently exceeds that threshold, it's a clear sign that something specific is causing the loss. Tracking shrinkage by location, by category, and by time period, that's how you turn raw data into intelligence you can act on.
The formula itself is simple. Start with recorded inventory value,
Subtract the actual count, divide by recorded value, then multiply by 100. Example, system says 50,000. Physical count finds 48,500. That's a 3% shrinkage rate, double the industry average. A clear signal to investigate.
When you line up all four sources, the priorities emerge. External theft is the largest contributor, but it's also the most visible and easiest to tackle with surveillance and apprehension. Internal theft is smaller in volume, but much harder to detect, so it needs different tools. Administrative errors and vendor fraud together are smaller, but call for systematic controls at receiving and in your data systems. Each source requires a unique response. This matrix makes it practical. External theft is high impact and easy to spot. Active surveillance works best. Internal theft is high impact but tough to detect. Audits and monitoring are key. Lower impact losses like admin errors and vendor fraud need process fixes, not investigative digs. Know where each source sits, and you'll know where to invest your time and resources. Treat every discrepancy as a question, never a conclusion. That missing item could be theft, a receiving error, a data entry mistake, or vendor fraud. Jumping to the wrong call wastes time and can hurt innocent people. First, investigate. Categorize accurately, then act. That discipline separates professional loss prevention from reactive guesswork. Let's recap this lesson. Shrinkage is the gap between what your records show and what's physically there. External theft is the biggest and most visible source. Internal theft is smaller but tougher to catch. It demands a different approach. Vendor fraud and administrative errors need process controls at receiving and data entry. And measuring shrinkage as a rate, broken down by source, turns observation into strategy. Welcome